Jennifer Mendyka here with your daily 60 seconds of biblical inspiration for your day. So the other day, we had a really bad clog in our sink. If you live in a household that has women with long hair, my daughter and I both have really long hair, sometimes you get these really nasty hairball plugs in your drain. So my husband came to the rescue. We have this big long plastic thing, stick that has these little barbs sticking out of it. It's called a hair zipper. And you shove it down the sink and you pull it back out and the barbs catch the hairball that's down there and yank it out. So my husband did that. And it was still stuck. There was still a clog. The water still wouldn't go down. So he grabbed the plunger and he plunged, nothing. And he plunged, nothing. And he plunged, nothing. So then he got really serious and he plunged. And finally, the sink unclogged. And the drain went, water went, all the gross yuck went down. And our sink was unplugged. And he said, hey, you should do one of your 60s about that. So I took it as a personal challenge. So here is my sink clog D60. So I got to thinking about it because he's like, do a D60. Yeah, that's so easy. Here, do a D60 about this. So I was thinking about it, and I've been pondering this for a few days. And I realized that clog was a lot like the sin in our lives. The sin in our lives is a clog for the flow of the Spirit. The less sin, the smaller the sin clog in our life, the easier the Spirit flows through us. But if we get a clog built up, a sin clog built up, it gets really hard for the Spirit to flow through us because of us, not because of God, but because of us. So we need to get that sin out of our lives. And sometimes it's as easy as the hair zipper thing where you just shove it down there, pluck out the clog. You realize you have a sin issue and you take it to God in prayer and it's taken care of. It's easy. But then you get those really stubborn clogs where you have to plunge and plunge and plunge. And that sometimes is the sin in our lives. Sometimes we have sin that we either don't fully recognize what the base issue of the sin is, or it's become such a habit that we really struggle to overcome that sin. And that's when we need that deep plunging, that God's got to come plunge us out of that sin. But he can't do that unless we make him aware of that sin. So Psalm 3 verse 4 says, I cried unto the Lord with my voice, and he heard me out of his holy hill. Selah. If we have a sin clog in our lives, we need to take that to God. And we need to voice that to God. We need to ask him with our voice to help us with that sin. When we open our mouth and we admit to God, because that's the only person we actually have to admit our sins to is God. When we admit that sin to God, when we are willing to open our mouths and say, God, this is a problem in my life, and I need you to help me get rid of it. He will step in and he will help you. But does that mean it's going to be gone like that? No, because this isn't the hair zipper clog. This is the plunge for 10 minutes clog, because what is in this drain, right? That's what that sin is like. Sometimes we have to take it to God and we have to get down on our knees, get down on our face, and we have to cry out to God. We have to dig deep within ourselves and find the issue and pull it out and plunge it out of us. And it's not always easy, and it's not always pretty. Sometimes it's pretty gross when we get that pulled out of us. We realize what a horrible, horrible thing we had stuck inside us. But the beautiful thing is that we can go to God and he not only pulls that out of us, He cleanses it and makes it as if it was never there. He can do that for us. And he will if we let him and if we ask him. So remember, when you get the clog in your sin, you get the sin clog going in your life, take it to the plumber who can clear it all. Take it to God, and he will help you clear that out of your life. Have a wonderful night. God bless. Goodbye.